Lois runs around the patio area of the Metro Court searching for Gio when Brooklyn finds her. She demands to know if Gio is her son. Lois cries and confirms he is. Brooklyn doubles over in tears, and Lois explains she and her grandmother tried to do the right thing. They decided to keep Gio close to make sure he went to a loving home. Lois begs her daughter to say something. Brooklyn says she can't breathe, and Lois rushes to her side to hold and comfort her. They sit down, and Lois gets her daughter some water. Brooklyn demands to know everything. Lois explains that Camellia was desperate to have a baby, and when she and Gloria came to her with the idea of adopting Gio, she was thrilled. They all realized they could keep Gio close, watch over him, and Lois could tell her daughter without lying that her baby went to a loving home. Lois says it was the perfect solution until Camilla got sick and died. They couldn't tell her and Gio the truth, as Gio's world had just fallen apart. Brooklyn listens in shock as Lois swears that she was trying to do the right thing. Dante walks out and asks, "For who? The right thing for who?" Brooklyn tells Dante how sorry she is. He asks, "So it's true?" She explained she got pregnant that summer. He asks why she didn't tell him. Did she think he'd be angry? She cries that she didn't know how to tell him. She was young, she was scared out of her mind, and she felt so lost and didn't know what to do. She couldn't terminate the pregnancy, so she gave the baby up and swore to never tell him. She's been dreading this look on his face for 20 years. She swears that until tonight, she didn't know the child was Gio. Dante again asks why she didn't tell him. Brooklyn explains she had decided to give up the child. She was already suffering, and she thought it would be cruel to make him suffer. Dante notes they have a lot to talk about, but first, they need to find their son. Lois wants to come with them, but Brooklyn tells her, "Like hell, you will." Brooklyn lashes out that all these years she thought she was calling the shots, but she wasn't. She agreed to a closed adoption, but her mother changed the plan. She should have told her. What she did was unforgivable. There is zero excuse for it, and she lied to everyone. She lied to her own daughter for 22 years, to Gio for his entire life, to Dante, Olivia, Dad, Tracy. The list goes on. Lois wishes she could go back in time and do things differently, but Brooklyn says that means nothing. Brooklyn tells her mother to stay away from her and her son and storms off. Dante follows her, and Lois collapses into tears. Lois sits on the patio alone when Ned appears. He is visibly furious. Outside the ballroom, Michael tells Wiley how much he missed him, and Wiley has grown a foot since he saw him. Wiley asks if they are going home to Uncle Drew's, but Michael says they are having a sleepover at Grandma Carly's. Wiley cheers. As Michael walks out with his son, Willow and Drew appear, and Wiley waves, "Bye, Mommy," to Willow. Jason steps in and tells them that following Michael and Wiley would be a bad idea. Willow asks Jason where Michael is taking Wiley, when suddenly she gets a call from her sitter. She learns that Jason came and took Amelia out of her home, and Drew and Willow race off. Sunny, Joss, Nina, and Carly show up. Joss walks off. Carly tells Nina that she'll see her in court and follows Joss out. Nina grabs Sunny and begs him to hear her out. Nina can't believe Jason kidnapped Amelia from her home, and she thought Michael's return would calm things down. She asks Sunny if he can't make Michael see that a compromise is what is best. Sunny tells her nobody wants a battle, but unless Willow gets away from Drew, this is the way it will be. He asks her to make Willow see that Drew is not a good person. He's ruined her life, tanked her marriage, and now she's going to lose her kids. He hopes Drew is worth it and walks off. Michael returns to Carly's, where Sasha sits with Amelia on the sofa. Michael hugs both his children and has missed them so much. He puts Wiley to bed and tells his son how much he loves him and missed him. After Amelia, too, is put down, Michael goes back to Sasha and thinks back to her reasons for not wanting to raise her child as a Quartermain or Corinthos. Michael thanks her for helping out tonight. He also thanks her for sending the sonograms, and not to worry that he's back, as he'll stay out of her and the baby's life, unless she changes her mind. Willow and Drew go to the PCPD to tell Mac that Jason Morgan kidnapped Amelia. Emma arrives at the Quartermain mansion and finds Gio about to run away as he states, "I can't stay here." Emma tells him she's coming with him. Before they can leave, Tracy storms in ranting about Drew framing her and having her arrested. She then asks what they are doing here, why they aren't at the ball, and what's wrong. Gio flashes back to what happened earlier in the evening, and Tracy orders them to speak. Gio tells Tracy, given how she loves to remind him that he's not a Quartermain, well, the joke is on her, as he is family. Tracy is confused, so Gio blurts out that Brooke Lynn is his mother and Dante is his father. Surprise, it's a boy. Tracy realizes it was him all this time. "You are my great-grandson." Gio grabs Emma's hand to leave, but Tracy tells him not to take another step. They go into the living room, and Tracy asks what happened and why he believes this. Gio says he overheard Lois saying it, and he wants to leave before anyone else returns home. Tracy understands this is shocking and upsetting, but he doesn't get to say he's family and waltz out the door. He asks why not. She states that because he is family, her family. Tracy shows him a photo of Edward and Leela, tells him who they are, and that everything in this house is his, and everyone who lives here is related to him. He cries as she tells him not to push them away. Gio says this isn't her fault, but he had a family, including a mother he loved more than anything, whom he lost. Now he's found out it was all a lie, and the family he has is a bunch of liars. So he's not ready to jump on the Q bandwagon, as it's a big lie. Gio goes to leave, but that's when Brooke Lynn and Dante arrive. Lulu returns home, and Cody is waiting on the porch for her with beers. They drink up, and she asks how Dante is. Cody says he's mad, confused, and in shock. He confirmed to Dante that Brooke Lynn left camp that summer pregnant and Gio is his son. He says her name didn't come up, but Lulu states she won't hide her involvement. Cody isn't sure they made the right call. Cody asks if Lulu told Gio the truth tonight. She didn't. Lulu believes Gio overheard her and Lois talking about him. Cody thinks confronting Lois at the ball wasn't a great idea. Cody admits he was so focused on Dante that he didn't think about Gio. He realizes his situation isn't the same as Gio's, as he never felt like he fit in with his family while growing up. Gio grew up with a family who adored him, and they just blew his family and memories to hell. Lulu flashes back to Carly warning her of the outcome of her meddling. They discuss how hurt Gio was on stage, and both their hearts ache for him, Brooke Lynn, and Dante. Cody notes they were so blinded by the lie, they couldn't see why it was there to begin with. So many people's lives were ripped apart and will never be the same. Lulu believes that in time, they'll all be changed for the better, but Cody points out that Gio grew up thinking Camilla was his mother. Lulu says nobody can take that love or those memories from him. Cody just hopes Gio isn't out there all alone. Lulu admits, for all her faults, that Brooke Lynn is a loving person and will be a good mom. Gio thought he was an orphan, and now he has a whole family who will accept him, like the Scorpios accepted Cody. Cody says it won't do Gio good if he can't trust his family, and he doesn't know how someone comes back from a lie this big. Lulu says things look bleak now, but everyone will help Gio come to terms with his new reality. They agree to do what they can to help, but Cody suggests she lie low for a while. Cody decides to walk home as the air will do him good. Trina and Kai return to replace, and she says she liked having him in the audience tonight. He tells her how beautiful her voice is, then again, everything about her is beautiful. They kiss. They sit down, enjoy some champagne, and reminisce about the rocky start to their relationship and how far they've come. She begins unbuttoning his shirt, and he asks what if Joss comes home. She says Joss is spending the night at her mom's. He asks if she is sure she wants to do this, as they can wait. She is sure, so they head to her bedroom to make love. Afterward, they cuddle, and he asks what she's thinking about. She says art class, and he laughs. She says she didn't want him as a partner, but she's glad she had him, as he's the best thing to happen to her in a long time. He feels the same way. On the next General Hospital, Dant confronts Brooke Lynn and asks if she ever would have told him if her hand wasn't forced. Gio asks someone, "What's your excuse?" Olivia lashes out at Lois, who says, "Until you are in the same position, you can't say that." Nina confides in Maxie and says this will change everything before the custody hearing. In Drew's car, he begs Willow not to do this. She says she has to try. Carly asks, "How did you know to come home?" Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. Finola Hughes from General Hospital caught up with Kelly Ripa and her husband Mark Consuelos on Live, with Kelly and Mark ahead of the weekend. There were some great one-liners, and Finola met and matched the humor with style. Read on for more and see some video clips. Kelly Ripa is known for her amusing one-liners, but when she and Finola caught up, the two All My Children alums managed to bring lots of humor. One clip showed them talking about the nurse's ball on the ABC show. The throwback scene showed her dancing around. Laughing, Finola said that she looked like the aunt at the wedding that won't sit down. She added, "That's what I look like. I feel like I'm the aunt at the wedding that won't sit down, and everybody's like, 'Stop serving her.'" That got some giggles. However, other scenes showed Finola Hughes in her first appearance. The GH star was being offered to check out some merchandise. When she explained that it was jewelry, Kelly Ripa quipped, "Oh, it wasn't his merchandise?" raising more laughter. The banter continued with Finola saying, "I was a jewel thief. I was a spy that worked for both sides during the Iron Curtain," getting the giggles from viewers. The real-life Anna Devane said, "But now I'm police commissioner, 'cause that's what happened, 'cause that's always what happens." Yeah, right from the beginning of that segment, the jokes came along thick and fast. When the first appearance on the show revealed Finola had her bangs covering one eye, Kelly told the audience, that was a scene from General Hospital, starring Finola Hughes and her hair back in 1985. Joking back, Hughes quipped, "You know I was hiding the one eye. I was saving it because that was more money." Smiling, she claimed, "I was like waiting for like a reveal." Kelly Ripa heard her friend say that she was thinking that in a second season, she was thinking, "Maybe I'll share my other eye with you." Another clip from the Live with Kelly and Mark appearance focused on the GH cast, who recently played Family Feud against the CBS cast from The Young and the Restless. The news arrived last week, and the episode will air later this summer. Finola revealed that she was the captain of her team. However, that didn't stop her from cheating a little bit. She told Mark Consuelos, who remembered historically fierce competition, that she snuck over to the little buzzer thing. While others were distracted, she was practicing with the buzzer. She added, "So I would be fast, because you had to fast." Finola also told Kelly and Mark that she practiced at home with her kids. Did you enjoy the clips of Finola holding her own with humor against Kelly and Mark? Shout out in the comments below, and come back here often for all your General Hospital cast news and updates. General Hospital spoilers for Wednesday, May 28, reveal that Willow Corinthos will make a bold move while Carly Spencer questions Michael Corinthos. Mayna Reeves will also open up to Maxie Jones about her worst fear, so there will be a lot happening in Port Charles. At the Quartermaine Mansion, Dante Falconeri and Brooke Lynn Quartermaine will face Giovanni Gio Palmieri's wrath. Dante will assure Gio that he never even knew Brooke Lynn was pregnant, but Gio will wonder what Brooke Lynn's excuse is for lying to him. Of course, Brooke Lynn was also in the dark on Gio being the baby boy she gave up for adoption. Lois Cerullo and Gloria Cerullo are the ones who set all this in motion. so Brooklyn and Dante were just as blindsided as Gio at the nurses' ball. Even so, Gio's whole world has been upended. Brooklyn and Dante will no doubt face some rejection since Gio's in too much pain to truly connect with them right now. As for Harrison Chase, he'll make a confession in the midst of all Wednesday's drama. Chase didn't know the Gio part of the story, but he knew Brooklyn was hiding a son from Dante and will surely want to apologize for his deception. Dante will also quiz Brooklyn and wonder if she ever would have told him if her hand wasn't forced. Brooklyn thought it was best to bury the pain of the past, but she'll see how wrong she was now that everything's blown up. Elsewhere, both Ned Quartermaine and Olivia Quartermaine will lash out at Lois for hiding the Gio news for over 2 decades. Olivia will argue that she would have handled the situation differently, but Lois will fire back that Olivia can't say that until she's in the exact same position. Lois tried to do the right thing, but Olivia just won't see it that way. Other GH spoilers say Nina will talk to Maxie about Michael's return home and how it's going to change everything for the custody hearing. It'll fuel Nina's worst fear that Willow's decision to put Drew Kane first will cost her Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos. At Carly's place, she'll have tears in her eyes as she questions Michael about how he knew to come home. Carly will want updates on that and will worry about Michael cutting his recovery short, but he may assure his mom that he's fine. Michael's priority is protecting his children, so he'll be ready to fight for custody in the courtroom feud that's looming. Willow and Drew just reported Jason Morgan for kidnapping since he picked up Amelia from Drew's house. It doesn't look like Max Scorpio will do anything about that, so Willow will change tactics soon enough. In the car, Drew will beg Willow not to do this, but she'll insist she has to try. Willow will ultimately knock on Carly's door and force Michael to have a conversation with her, but it won't go well at all. Although Willow will push Michael to admit that the kids belong with her, he won't think that's true anymore. General Hospital spoilers say Michael will stand his ground on facing off with Willow in court and letting the judge decide what's next. General Hospital spoilers indicate that we don't know much about Vaughn. All we know is that he is a WSB agent that trained Jocelyn Jacks and is keeping close tabs on her as she investigates Professor Dalton. Since we don't even know Vaughn's last name, is it possible that he has family ties in Port Charles? Being a WSB agent may run in the family, as Vaughn could very well be the son of Frisco Jones, making him Maxie Jones's half-brother. We haven't seen much of Frisco for decades, as he has been absent working for the WSB, but also has not returned to Port Charles since leaving the WSB. Perhaps there is a reason for that, and Frisco has a new wife and another family away from Port Charles. It is possible that Frisco married another female WSB agent and has a child or more than one with this woman. One of his children could be Vaughn, who followed in his father's footsteps and became a WSB agent. Frisco could still be with this woman and would explain why he rarely ever visits Port Charles. Max Scorpio was off the canvas for some time helping Frisco out, and he may have become privy to the fact that Frisco is remarried and has another family. He also may have met Vaughn. However, he decided to keep the truth about Frisco's other family from his wife, Felicia Scorpio, and Maxie, because Frisco asked him to, and also because he didn't want either of them to get hurt. However, Mac never thought that Vaughn would turn up in Port Charles. When Mac and Vaughn accidentally see each other in Port Charles, the truth about Vaughn's connection to Frisco could be exposed, and also the fact that Mac is keeping the truth about Frisco's other family from Felicia and Maxie. Mac would tell Vaughn to get out of Port Charles as soon as his assignment is over, but Vaughn may have to stay for a while on Jack Brennan's orders. Mac would make Vaughn promise to tread carefully and stay away from Maxie and Felicia. Vaughn may stumble upon his half-sister, Maxie, and find her in distress and befriend her. Maxie would be unaware that he is her brother, but she would believe that something is familiar about him. She wouldn't put the pieces together at first, but she subconsciously would see that Vaughn reminds her of her father, Frisco. Vaughn and Maxie may develop a friendship, and Vaughn would become quite fond of his sister. Mac would see them together and confront Vaughn, determined to keep the truth about his true identity as Maxie's half-brother a secret. One way or another, Felicia, Maxie, or both could learn that Vaughn is Frisco's son and be shocked. They would be even more shocked and betrayed to learn that Mac has known about Frisco's son, and that he has another family and kept the secret from them. Mac would try to explain that he gave Frisco his word, and he also did not want to hurt them. However, this would not sit well with either of them, and they would feel betrayed by Mac keeping the secret. Maxie would embrace her brother, Vaughn though, and welcome him to the family. Felicia would be welcoming as well, and may forgive Mac in time, but it could take a while. It would also take Maxie some time to warm up to Mac again. What do you think? Do you think that Vaughn is Frisco's son? Is Mac keeping the truth from Felicia and Maxie? Will Felicia and Maxie forgive Mac for keeping Frisco's other family a secret? Keep watching General Hospital, weekdays on ABC, to find out what's next. General Hospital spoilers gush. Lois Cerullo faces a reckoning in Port Charles after Lulu Spencer let her fury get the best of her at the nurses' ball, accidentally exposing Lois' devastating secret. Giovanni Gio Palmieri is her grandson. Brooklyn Quartermain can no longer keep it under wraps that she gave her baby up for adoption years ago, never telling Dante Falconieri about his child, and hiding that truth from everyone else. By concealing Brooklyn's pregnancy and orchestrating Gio's adoption while keeping him close, Lois betrayed Ned Quartermain, Olivia Falconieri, and Sonny Corinthos, her ex-husband and closest friends. With their trust shattered, Ned, Olivia, and Sonny might sever ties with Lois, potentially forcing her to leave the Q mansion and head back to Bensonhurst. Can Lois salvage her relationships, or will her lies exile her for good? Ned is gutted, learning not only that Brooklyn endured a teenage pregnancy, but that Lois kept him from his grandson, Gio, for years. As Brooklyn's father, his anger at being denied his role, and the pain his daughter suffered alone, cuts deep. Lois' decision to place Gio in the Quartermain orbit without a word feels like a calculated betrayal, especially since Ned welcomed her back into their lives. He might push Tracy Quartermain's agenda to oust Lois from the mansion, demanding she return to Bensonhurst. Will Ned's rage override their shared history, or can Lois appeal to his love for Brooklyn to stay? Olivia, Dan's mother, is heartbroken that Lois, her Bensonhurst bestie, hid Gio's existence, thereby robbing her of years with her grandson. The suspicion that Lois encouraged Brooklyn's adoption, knowing Dante was the father, is going to cut like a knife. Olivia's loyalty has already shifted to her son, who is grappling with the news that he has a child he never knew, one whom he hasn't been in such good rapport with as of late. A confrontation could lead Olivia to declare her friendship with Lois over, urging the Brooklyn beauty to leave town. Can Lois rebuild Olivia's trust, or will her deception end their lifelong bond? Sonny is obviously furious that Lois concealed his grandson while watching Gio grow up. Her silence strikes at his core as a father who missed out on that kind of time with his own son Dante. How could Lois possibly do this to all of them when she was right there and had a front row seat to how painful it was for Sonny to learn that Olivia had concealed his identity from Dante all those years while never telling Sonny she had his child? Lois' only hope lies in proving her actions stemmed from love. It sounds like a real showdown is underway. Are Ned, Olivia, and Sonny going to banish Lois to Bensonhurst, or will she use those colorful nails to claw her way back into their lives? General Hospital spoilers suggest that Port Charles has been rocked by the return of Michael Corinthos during the close of the 2025 Nurses' Ball. The stunned looks on everyone, including Willow Tay Corinthos and Drew Kane, were priceless. However, someone who didn't look overly shocked was Jocelyn Jacks. Did Michael's sister tip him off about his pending child custody hearing? and pull strings with the WSB to bring him home? General Hospital spoilers remind fans that Carly Spencer pushed the button on scheduling Wiley Corinthos's and Amelia Corinthos's custody hearing out of sheer desperation. When she found out Willow had moved the kids into Drew's home, she wanted to protect her grandchildren. The only problem was, even though these things take months to organize, the hearing was scheduled for June 2. With only 2 weeks away, and Michael still in Germany at the Baden-Baden clinic, she and Diane Miller came up with a good strategy to score Michael's kids back. However, without Michael around, the chances of this were still a bit iffy. Jason Morgan and Sonny Corinthos both reasoned that Carly should tell Michael, but she didn't listen. Still, Joss was outraged by what her mom did when she was informed. As Michael's sibling and the daughter of Carly, Jocelyn knows how she would feel if her mother pulled something like this in her life. So was she the one to reach out to Michael? As Jason was the one to help organize Michael's arrival, many fans may believe he was the one to tip him off. He may very well have been. Then again, as Diane is his lawyer, perhaps she made the phone call out of sheer client-lawyer obligation. With that said, Jason did seem a tad taken aback when he picked up the phone call from Michael at the police station. He initially went there to bail out Tracy Quartermaine on the May 23 episode, and while he was successful at organizing her release, he bailed out on her for a drive home to help Michael. Jason almost seemed caught off guard that he had to help Michael on short notice, so there's a good chance someone else tipped him off, but Jason added the assist with everything else. Not to mention the plane Michael used to get home was a private jet that seemed very WSB-ish. Could Jocelyn have pulled some strings with the Bureau? She may act like she reached out to Jack Brennan, and because of his relationship with her mom, he agreed to help and keep quiet about to surprise Carly. General Hospital spoilers show that Giovanni Gio Palmieri and half of Port Charles, New York, now know who his bio parents are. Brooke Lynn Quartermaine Chase and Dante Falconeri. Color everyone shocked. Everyone except Lois Cerullo. We predict that there are 3 very likely outcomes to play out now that the truth is exposed. Will Gio resent Belki for giving him away at birth? She didn't know he would grow up next to her in Bensonhurst. That was Lois' doing. Dante has been ripping into Gio lately, but we see a bro bond developing now that they know they are father and son. It could be that he blames his mom and sees his dad as another one of her victims, which of course is entirely true. Gio needs someone to turn to, and Emma Scorpio Drake is his best hope. She is not involved in any way in this mess, and she was the one he told first. Sort of. She encountered him backstage at the nurses' ball and could tell that something was very, very wrong. Tracy Quartermaine is Gio's maternal great-grandma, and we fully expect her to latch onto him like a barnacle. She is proud of all of her family members, and with someone as talented and charismatic as Gio, she will surely want to show him off. But she will also want to shelter and protect him, and that is what he needs right now. His world is shattered, and Gio needs stability and a place to call home while he sorts through everything. It's mighty ironic that the Q Mansion was his domicile before he knew the truth, and right now he needs a safe shelter from the storm. Explosive spoilers for the Tuesday, May 27 episode reveal that Gio tries to move out of the Quartermaine mansion. And who could blame him? All the people there are shadows of a life he never knew he had. But we predict that Tracy has other ideas. She is genuinely fond of Gio, someone who she appreciates for standing up to her. Can she convince him to calm down for a hot minute and remain nearby on the sprawling ground somewhere? Tell us in the comment section what you want Gio to do next. General Hospital spoilers reveal the custody battle for Amelia Corinthos and Wiley Corinthos is barreling toward its early June hearing, and Rick Lansing's unexpected subpoena of Sasha Gilmore Corbin has sent shockwaves. Representing Willow Corinthos, Rick's move has Sasha rattled, fearing he's uncovered her secret. Her unborn baby's father is Michael Corinthos, not Jason Morgan, who's covering for his best friend's son. Though Sasha initially dismissed her panic, assuming the subpoena is standard for a custody case, nagging doubts persist. What if Rick suspects the truth, drawing parallels to when he helped Carly Spencer hide Michael's paternity years ago? If Rick knows, or uncovers, the real father, what will it mean for the case in Sasha's future? Sasha's heart raced when Rick's subpoena arrived, her mind jumping to the possibility that he had sniffed out the truth about her baby's paternity. Michael, still recovering in Germany from severe burns, hasn't exactly entrusted Jason to pose as the father to protect Sasha from scrutiny, and Rick's legal instincts are razor sharp. Sasha calmed herself, reasoning that her ties to Michael make her testimony routine in the custody fight, but a lingering fear remains. If Rick, with his history of untangling Corinthos secrets, suspects Jason's claim is a cover, perhaps noticing subtle clues like Sasha's evasiveness or Michael's absence, her secret could unravel. Will Sasha's nerves betray her on the stand, or can she keep her cool under Rick's scrutiny? Rick is no stranger to paternity cover-ups, knowing Carly once concealed Michael's true father to shield her from the Quartermaines. Spoilers speculate he might sense déjà vu, picking up on Jason's protective stance and Sasha's guarded demeanor. If Rick starts connecting dots, perhaps through hospital records, overheard conversations, or even a slip from Lena Reeves about Sasha's closeness to Michael, he could be building a case to expose the truth. A nurse's ball confrontation or a courtroom bombshell could see Rick press Sasha, hoping to discredit Michael's stability as a father by revealing another child. If Rick's hunch is right, will he use the truth to tip the custody scales for Willow, or hold it as leverage for his own gain? If Rick confirms Michael is Sasha's baby's father, the custody battle could implode. Exposing the lie would weaken Carly's fight for Michael, painting him as deceptive and bolstering Drew Quartermaine and Willow's case. Willow, already torn by her affair with Drew, might be crushed to learn Michael moved on too, shifting her stance in court. Sonny Corinthos, protective of his son, could escalate tensions with Rick, his hated half-brother, risking a mob-style showdown. Will Sasha crack under pressure, or will Jason's loyalty keep the secret buried? Is Rick's subpoena going to unravel Sasha's lie, or can she protect Michael's secret and her baby's future? Keep checking back for more GH news and spoilers just ahead. It's all out in the open now on General Hospital. And this week we get the fallout from a dramatic reveal that was a year in the making. Brooklyn now knows Gio is her son. Dante now knows Brooklyn was pregnant, and Gio now knows he was adopted. GH fans are also playing the blame game as they debate who is more responsible for how this massive mess, Lulu or Lois. While Lulu couldn't mind her own business and stuck her nose where it didn't belong, trying to prove that Gio was the baby Brooklyn gave up for adoption, she is not the person who set this whole chain of events in motion. That was Brooklyn's mother, Lois, who didn't bother telling Brooklyn that she gave her baby to her cousin. Brooklyn watched her son grow and never knew he belonged to her. As for Lulu, she was asked multiple times to let the situation go when she learned Brooklyn gave birth to Dante's child, but she couldn't leave well enough alone. She confronted Lois backstage at the General Hospital nurses' ball, and Gio overheard the whole thing before he told everyone his parents didn't want him, smashed his violin, and ran from the stage. Now the follow-up begins with blame to go around, so where are fans placing all that blame? Ex-user at Courtney Rocket has a bone to pick with Lulu, writing, "Oh my god, poor Gio. Lulu is despicable. I hope karma bites her in the ass hard for this. She went to the Christina Corinthos Davis School of Acting without thinking. This poor kid's life has just been turned upside down." Atalanta Rapa is coming down hard on Lois, saying, "I already know Lulu is going to get thrown under the bus, but Lois should get the majority of the blowback because she's the one that hit a kid in plain sight." And Dante should have smoke for Brooklyn as well. At @me_nah thinks turnabout is fair play for Lois after she refused to mind her business and told Sunny that Nina was the one who ratted out Carly and Drew to the SEC when they committed a crime. Lois blew up #Sona, kinda enjoying Lulu blow up her life. They tweeted, "Oh no, oh Gio, that poor kid. And to find out like that? Lulu and Lois suck for being that loud and not doing that in private. Damn, and they got me feeling bad for BLQ too. Lulu deserves everyone turning against her now, but they better treat Lois the same way." @MaySweet_Time wrote, placing blame all around. @Semisweet55 assigns blame all around, tweeting, "From where I sit, the following people deserve a slap for the Gio mess. Lois for keeping this secret in the first place. Brooklyn for not telling Dante she was pregnant. Cody for keeping this from his best friend. Lulu for sticking her nose in instead of letting it be." No matter who is to blame for this mess, most fans can concur that the reveal played out in an amazingly soapy way that had us all on the edge of our seats. As silly as the retcon is, and as much as I hate the pacing, the writers finally hit two deeply soap notes in the story, @Sporomance wrote, "The reveal happened because BLQ's deepest secret was discovered by her nemesis, and the reveal was publicly done in a way to shock everyone, even Lois and Lulu. He had no issue entering the conflict." Parker repeated, "That's how he left this world, stepping in front of his friend to take a bullet. When that happened, I said, I'll take the hits for him now." In the days after the murder, Joy also revealed painful details about the circumstances surrounding his death on her Instagram. "I've needed some time to gather my thoughts and emotions. I was with Johnny in his final moments, and I'm here to be his voice after such unfathomable events," she wrote. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.